It was a beautiful sunny day, the perfect one for Suru to fulfill the task he had in mind. For Suru, the path to the Tarumã River was like an old acquaintance. Over the years, he had walked it countless times, sometimes playing with his friends, other times while attending ceremonies with the adults, and even for learning. But not today. Today was a special day. He was to have a special conversation, a task not to be taken lightly. As he traveled the path, Suru walked barefoot to feel the welcome sensation of damp soil between his toes. He knew that during his journey, he would have heard the familiar sounds he had grown with. The cry of the monkeys, the paca, and birds, while geckos and cuchillas dashed across his eyeline. He heard the rustling of the wind, with the plants dancing softly in response, all while the sun crept through the branches of the trees to reach the ground. As he arrived at the riverbank, he sat down on the ground and gazed in admiration. His father used to say that it was easy to understand the Tarumã River, and that each person had their own unique way of doing it. As Suru sat at the river's edge, he focused on the sound of the flowing water and closed his eyes. He didn't know how long he had remained in that peaceful and contemplative state. Was it seconds, minutes, or hours? Suru could not say, but step by step, he began to feel that same water flowing through his veins. It was part of his being. It fed his life. So, holding close to the hope that he would be answered, Suru opened his eyes and said, "Tarumã, my father said to me that one day I would take on my role as a Chiquitano and nature's protector, because, without nature, the Chiquitano people cannot exist. I know that this is going to be a big job and it's going to take a lot of time to learn. So, it is better to start soon. I have already spoken to many people in the village, but I have never stopped to understand the rivers, winds, plants, and animals. Because of this, I have come to meet you and to speak to you." Tarumã wondered what person could have come to claim its attention and break the silence. Upon perceiving Suru, the river felt elated to see that it was a child. Hardly anyone so young and committed had paid a visit, and Tarumã suspected that the child was coming with a heavy heart. For this reason, Tarumã decided to appear. Tarumã used to transform itself to manifest to people. It used to shape its spirit according to the person's feelings and connect to those who could see it, a strategy that allowed it to talk to people's minds. Sometimes it took the shape of a bird, sometimes a jaguar. Other times it would take the shape of a handsome boy or a gorgeous girl. There were countless possibilities, and after so many years, Tarumã could no longer remember all the various appearances it took during its long life. The idea was to take on a special friendly appearance for the people who could see it. To be able to speak to that child, in particular, Tarumã took the shape of a beautiful girl with long dark hair. "Hello, boy. I am happy you came to talk to me. I am curious to know why, among so many options, you decide to begin with me," said Tarumã. Suru could not imagine such a spectacle. It was exciting that Tarumã was talking to him. At that moment, he understood what was happening. He did not know why, but he understood. Words could not describe the intimate connection that was instantly made between him and Tarumã. That look of hers was so kind and loving, like a mother's. It was also so beautiful. Suru was scared. His parents already told him tales about how the river appeared to them in different guises. However, even though he felt no fear, the appearance was such a surprise that he almost forgot to answer the question. "You already know me from the fishing trips, the games, baths, and rituals. I know that things are not so easy for you. I would like to know you better to help you and protect my people. I am 12, I am already a man, and I know I can help." "That's true, my dear Suru. I have known you for a long time." Suru was surprised to hear that, despite having failed to introduce himself, Tarumã already knew his name. "Yes, my name is Suru, which means thunder. My mom told me that I can be as noisy as the war drums, although my grandma says I am like a storm running here and there." Tarumã could not help herself and laugh a little. She sat down on a nearby stone and said, "I can imagine. Now, going back to what you said, yes, It is true I am a bit troubled. Your intention is noble. You know, all people are born as part of nature. They can see it and listen to it. Unfortunately, many people become blind and deaf to nature's requests for help. They forget that they are part of a whole and that they depend on it. But not the Chiquitano people. You all understand the relationship between humans and nature, and because of this, you take care of the environment. This is wonderful, very wonderful. As long as there are people as concerned about protecting the environment as the Chiquitano people, there will be hope for life. So, where would you like to start? Can you start from the very beginning? Asked Suru. Tarumã nodded and explained. I was born magnificent, with a clear and lively body. I used to run following the course set by nature, the wise mother of life. Many species that already existed before humans used to depend on me. When I met the Chiquitano people, they first called me Nosurush. Then they called me Tarumã. Why Tarumã? Ah, it's because of that dark berry over there that they make wine with. See? It said, as it pointed to the fruit on a tree next to its bank. Nosurush is the word in the indigenous language Tupi-Guarani, though people used to call that Tarumã. Suru nodded in response. I have got it. I have a question. Many people from different villages talk about you. Are you so long? The boy had long been curious to know the real extension of the Tarumã River. Yes, I am 135 kilometers long. I flow through Mato Grosso, Rondônia, which are both Brazilian regions, and reach all the way through Bolivia. Everywhere I go, you Chiquitano treat me well. Oh dear, you are really long indeed. Without you, we wouldn't have fish to catch, bath to take, animals to breed, rituals to do neither. Yes, it's true. Countless animals and plants' lives depend on me, as well as different Chiquitano villages. After this, Suru asked her if she knew about the size of his people. Maybe she knew that they spread on different lands. You said that you are magnificent, and cross different lands, as do we, he said. I know it indeed. The essence of your people is to cross borders. Cross what? Cross borders means that you Chiquitano people have been living here for a long time. Since before there were cities, states, and countries, you have been in just one place. In the 2000s, there were 2,400 members of the Chiquitano people in Brazil, while in Bolivia there were more than 80,000. The Chiquitano people occupies as many territories in Brazil as in Bolivia. In Brazil, the territories that the Chiquitano have been living in since time immemorial are in the state of Mato Grosso, namely, the municipalities of Caceres, Porto Espírito, Pontes, Lacerda, and Vila Bela de Santíssima Trindade. Do you know how many Chiquitano villages exist? Asked Tarumã. I do. In that moment, he was happy to have paid attention in class. He attended the local school and hoped it did not trick him. Something about 30, right? There are Vila Nova Barbecho, Acorizal, Fazendinha, Aroeira. What are the others? I remember it. Natukic Pisiorch, Pama Mastacama. There is Nossa Senhora Aparecida, Osby, Santa Luisa, Triunfo, Las Petas, Santa Monica, Boquena, Nova Fortuna, Cantao, Marinos, Palmarito, and there is that one of Aeroporto Osier, exclaimed Suru. You know enough then. Congratulations. It's not easy to remember so many names, said Tarumã with a smile. Suru felt so proud of himself. Thank you. My parents say that it is important to know our people, not only the village where I was born. And how about you? Where were you born? The water of the shore trembled, and the reflection turned into another view. Now, a lush green mountain took up the scene. Suru had never seen so much green before in his entire life. As each image appeared, the boy sighed with emotion. My source is there, in the Serra Santa Barbara. It is a national park in Mato Grosso. Part of the protected area is included in the Chiquitano territory of Porto Encantado, on the border between Brazil and Bolivia, said Tarumã. When did the Chiquitano people begin to use your waters? Asked Suru. It has been a long time, such a time ago that I can't even remember, I am not sure. But it was before the Jesuit missions, between 1691 and 1760. These missions had a big impact on the Chiquitano people. Have you ever heard about this history? No. Can you please tell me? Sure. I think it is very important for you to know the history of the fight of your people. It is a long story, and you need to relive some moments. Tarumã raised her arms and hugged Suru. While her waters embraced him, Suru felt safe and at ease, just like when he did within his mother's arms. The story would be beautiful but sad, and he knew that as long as he stayed in Tarumã's embrace, the path would be less painful. The protection of the river was necessary.